Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to season number 5 for round number 20 today. And today is a special day because we'll be doing the first 50% race distance race we'll have on this channel. And today we can also win the championship so long as we finish the race and score a point, more or less. That's really all that's required of us to win the championship, more or less, which is probably going to happen anyway here today, nonetheless. But before we get into this video, I want to say a big thank you to all 365 people so far that have watched my Spanish GP race reaction. And I want to say thank you to the 5 people that gave it a thumbs up, okay? And if possible, the 4 people that gave it so far a thumbs down, I'd like to know why you gave it a thumbs down, so I can improve upon that. Because obviously, whilst it's good to see 5 people give it a thumbs up, I want to see, what, led people to give it a thumbs down, to see what's caused, in a way, a bit of a division, maybe. I did have one comment on it, and I'll read you the comment. I'm pretty sure they just said something like that. I've had to delete the comment because obviously, as you can understand, it was a bit graphic. I'm pretty sure it was saying something like Verstappen was gifted or something like that, then said F off. I'm not going to repeat the full word because I don't want this video to be monetized. But obviously, I replied to that comment saying what I meant by Verstappen was gifted, just in case the same person watches today's video. Because we can all sit here and deny, if you want, what happened at Ferrari. Or we can actually admit the truth and say Ferrari could have done this better, that better, and this better, which could have led, in the end, to a podium, for Scuderia Ferrari. And we cannot deny that. Ferrari had the straight line pace, but clearly, when it mattered in terms of team orders, they just messed the team order strategy up, and that cost Ferrari, certainly in my opinion, a podium. And yeah, that's all I was saying about the Verstappen thing. He got gifted by Ferrari. He was given a gift by Ferrari. He was lucky to get the podium. He drove a fantastic race, in fact, and deserved to be on the podium. But he was gifted by Scuderia Ferrari, by Vettel's lockup at turn 1. It was a bit of a gift to him. And that's my opinion on it. If anyone else wants to share their opinion on the Verstappen incident or on the Verstappen podium, then please go ahead. I understand there's probably a lot of passionate Verstappen fans out there. But nonetheless, we're not going to reflect any more on the Spanish GP, which happened yesterday. I must say it wasn't the most interesting Spanish GP. But yeah, let's get into then this Brazilian Grand Prix, of course, for the Brazilian Grand Prix weekend. But I want to say big thank you to all 365 people, because believe it or not, that is now my most viewed video I've ever done, which is fantastic, honestly. Yeah, what else can I say? Most viewed video ever done. I'm astonished, really. My most viewed my video that I released actually a few weeks ago about Uber, that was so far on almost 200 views, which is it's not a lot. You could argue that, but for sure it's what was the most quickest viewed video to get to 100 views and stuff like that. But this has basically blown that out the park, and basically crushed that Uber video. It's crushed all my videos, in fact. So nonetheless, anyway, we'll get into obviously this video today. I've got to make my headset, make sure that's all good. Sorry about the driving at the moment, bit bad. Right, down into turn 1, through turn 2. Turn 3. Now, this track, I believe, this will be the final Grand Prix this season at the Brazilian Grand Prix. Which will be a shame because I quite like this circuit personally. I don't know about you guys. I think this is probably one of the best circuits we've got on the calendar. For sure, sometimes racing ain't the best here always, but I think it's actually probably better than majority of circuits. When you look at the lights, you know, especially when you compare it to China or stuff like that. I think it's better than China personally. Overall, it's short though. I will say that for the circuit, it's roughly a minute long, but they're no different really to how can you put it, Austria. And then that's a good circuit, you know. But yeah, the missing final gate there probably could have gone purple in terms of the target score. Right, through turn 1. Down into turn 2. Right now on top, as you'd expect, really. By the way, I did say it in my video yesterday, congratulations to Man City on winning the second back-to-back Premier League, and I believe it's their fourth now. Or fourth Premier League that they've ever won in the club's history, which is quite impressive actually, because being a Chelsea supporter, obviously we've had 5 Premier Leagues, so they're practically caught up to now Chelsea, in all fairness. They're just having to really win, I think, the sheer amount of Champions Leagues and maybe FA Cups, and then they're virtually on the same level. Oh yeah, and Cabrio Cups, that's it, more English Cups, as they say. And then they're on the same level as Chelsea. But yeah, what a team Pep Guardiola has made out of that Man City squad. And in all fairness, they've deserved it this season. You know, I would have liked, personally, I would have liked Liverpool to win the league, like myself. I don't know whether you'd agree with that. I just don't know, but I've been saying nice there about Liverpool winning the league. I think the set of players that Liverpool have are a bit more maybe humble, I find. But don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with Manchester City. They're a great team, and in all fairness, I think the thing about Manchester City that you've got to admire is the sheer way they've done it this season in terms of defending off a really good charge from, you know, Liverpool. Because Liverpool didn't make a foot wrong. I think you've got to admire both of these teams. Realistically, I think both of the teams, if I could, I'd make them champions of England. Because in all honesty, both of the two teams really have impressed me this season. Like, don't get me wrong, I think for Chelsea to finish 3rd in the league, we're lucky. Okay, I think we only finished with 2 more points than last season, and last season we had Antonio Conte, and he finished 5th. That just shows, actually, in my opinion, really how bad every other team has been this season. For us to not even have our strongest season, yet we're still capable of finishing inside the top 3. You know, it is quite ridiculous, really. But yeah, you can't take it away from, I don't think, City. They did a very, very good job, in all honesty. And they deserve to win, unfortunately. Because it's a bit like Formula 1, the one with the most points at the end of a season, right now, who is Lewis Hamilton, deserves to win the championship, I always say. It's not the one with the most race wins deserves it, because, yeah, whilst Lewis Hamilton had the most race wins, I feel, in 2016, did he deserve it? I don't think so. I don't think he drove the best all season long. I feel that was Nico, because Nico had an unbelievable amount of consistent podiums. I think there was only 1 of the 20 races or something like that where Nico failed to score a podium, which, you know, or maybe 2 races where Nico failed to score a podium. It was unreal, really, what Nico did in that season. Like, whereas when you compare it to the likes of Hamilton, he was a lot more probably quicker throughout the season, but not when it comes to podiums. Nonetheless, we now make our way down the hill, just trying to focus now on this race run. Not the best first lap we've done. Certainly got more time in the pocket, and I promise you that. Remember, we're doing 50 lap race this weekend, so basically ineffectively we're more or less doing a half race distance. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a new one for me personally to do this 50% race. Don't worry, I've done longer races than 25% in the past. I've done 100% races on this game as well. Every now and again I sometimes do, so I'm quite used to the marathons, if that makes sense, or to the longer racing. It's a lot more challenging, though. Car right now feels reasonable good. Feel like we're quite easy with the car right now. And car feels quick, or it is quick anyway.
Okay, super job so far. We're getting great data. Stay focused.
I'd like to win this weekend, if we win the championship, or finish on the podium, by the way. I think that'd be the aim. It's got to be. Because if we, don't get me wrong, if we get the championship, yet lose race win or a podium, it'd feel a bit half empty. Haven't got a perfect lap yet in, I don't feel. Feel like we've just done a few mistakes here and there, which probably cost us a few tenths. Which, in all fairness, like there's another mistake. Like, yeah. Oh dear. That was a big mistake. Like,
confirm you're okay, please.
so we're still trying to get into a bit of a groove here, because, like, you know, just trying to pick the right turning spot, sort of thing. Right, up the hill. I love this section of track, actually. This is probably my favourite corner. Oh no, that was horrible. I'm going to just use a flashback. We were on the sort of last lap sort of thing, and we got a bit out wide, took a bit too much curb, got a bit oh, for F's sake. Got a bit greedy. That's the problem with that corner. You don't want to take too much curb on the outside, because it will just spin you off like that. Like, and yeah, you're basically done for.
Super job so far. We're getting great data. Stay focused.
Right. So that's that practice program done, more or less. So car feels quite good. It doesn't feel like it's at its peak. I think the softer tyre that will be on, it'll feel a lot more better. But yeah, what the lap time's saying, that we're more or less up there with Vettel in the Ferrari. Like, I actually expect Ferrari to be quite a contender this weekend, because of what I'm aware, they do have the best engine currently in this career mode so far. So obviously, you still got to expect them to be reasonably good compared to maybe us around this circuit, especially with their engine. But of course, there's only one way to find out, and that will be to race or get into quali for the qualifying. So we'll now go for qualifying, 19-minute session. We'll usually do only 2 laps. So we'll do an out lap, in lap, out lap, qualifying lap, in lap, then skip the time sort of thing, sim it down, then on it obviously do another out lap, in lap, and then yeah. So here we go then for our first of the 2 flying laps here. Obviously, no new parts for this weekend. So obviously, the car is practically in with the baseline, more or less, compared to other rounds. We certainly won't be upgrading the car anymore this season. No point really. We've won the constructors. We're on the way to winning the drivers. And so long as we finish the race inside the top 10 positions, we will win the Drivers' Championship. So long as our teammate doesn't win the race or thing. If we finish outside either the top 10. So it's pretty simple really. Score points, we win the championship. Teammate doesn't win, we win the championship. So there's only really a number of ways we can win the championship. So whatever happens though to us, our teammate must win. And that's probably the biggest relief. We can more or less, we don't have to risk it all too much. We've got a bit out wide there, don't want to do that on the quali lap. Right, let's go. Take a nice short run to the line. Up the hill. Into turn 1, spot braking zone. Probably slightly early on the brakes there. Keep nice and right. Oh, that was too late. Way too late on the brakes there. Nonetheless, lap time ain't invalid, and I don't think we would have gained time through there. We'll more likely have lost. So a bit of a scrappy lap this one so far. Not the cleanest I've ever done, nor the fastest I don't think. Hold it again. That was a horrible exit. We're gonna go for another run. So we'll do it in lap and then we'll come back in. Only 4/10 off though, surprisingly. So don't know why I've done that. So we'll come back in, we'll put on a new set. We'll go for our 3rd run then here today. And then we'll go straight back out. I'm not really worried about these tyres because I know there's a lot more pace to come from our car. How much fuel we got on board? Should be okay for fuel wise, so I'm not going to lower the fuel. I feel the fuel's fine. We may do that on the last run. So time can be certainly found at the top of the hill as well. Through the bottom as well. Wow, we're quite a bit up on this lap and we're not even pushing. I want to see how much time can be won through. So practically, so long as we do a clean last lap, we're gonna get pole here. We're into like the 106s or something. I'm speeding in pit lane slightly, so in we come then. We're going to go straight back out, no wasting time, more or less. So we certainly got the car's underneath us. It's just about getting in the correct lap, you know, not making the mistakes, and then I think we should be more or less on pole position. We shouldn't have any troubles, really. So we're going to go back out on a brand new set of the super soft tyres. By the way, in F1 2019, obviously they only have Red Bull tyres. I'm going to just stick to the word super soft, soft and medium sort of thing, because I find it better that way. That's the way I currently do it in the current Formula 1, because obviously I've always been used to these red walls, been the super soft. The yellow wall is the soft to me, and the white wall is the medium, regardless whether they've now made it sort of only medium soft. Like, I think the way they've done it this year in current Formula 1 is stupid, like how you have C1, C2, C3, C4, C5. To me, it's just, you know, a bit more stupid. I don't know about you. Did I just crash into the barrier? Yes, I did. But I find, honestly, the tyres stupid way they've done it this season in F1. Like, they've honestly made a stupid situation out of it all. I like the pit lane exit, by the way, here. It's one of the nicest probably pit lane exits in the world. Not easy to navigate necessarily either. Alright, so just gonna back off slightly as we're on the out lap here. So we should get a clean run anyway, clean air, more or less. There's no real benefit of a tow here, I don't find, personally. Right, out of the final corner. That was a much better exit. Also off that final corner. Alright, up the hill. Again, a bit too early on the brakes, and then sort of got caught out on the grass there to the right, which sort of made the car slide. Didn't gain any time through that small corner car, I'll admit that. We're not getting many laps together here, I will say that. The balance of the car feels a bit too sensitive to me right now. Probably that's my main issue. So we'll improve, but we're not going to improve as much as I would like, which is annoying. So we'll like have a nicer exit overall, but the lap didn't really come together. That's only good enough for P10. Again, just not really where I want to be. So that's 2 laps now that we've done. Ugh, that's annoying. Just not getting in the lap. I know once we get in the lap, it will be a good lap at that. But I know also it's about how do you get in that lap. I'm just wondering, do we need like a second lap here? Is it something we're doing in the prep? What's going on? Like, I feel like the car's sensitive, like, as soon as we turn it, like, I know a Formula 1 car does feel like that, but I don't feel completely balanced, the car, at the moment. And there's quite a lot of shadow heading into turn 1, so you can't quite see your braking point a little bit. And we keep on braking probably a bit early in turn 1 right now, which ain't what we're looking for. Alright, so we've got one more opportunity now, more or less, so we'll just sim down the time and we'll go out now towards the end of the session. We only need really about 1 minute 45 towards the end, really, to bank in a lap. Just have a quick look at the times, really, and to understand. So we're about 8/10 off, which, yeah, I certainly know the time's in there. It's just about finding that time. My Vettel's done a 1 minute 30, so we'll go out now probably in about 10 seconds. Just wait a little bit. So yeah, we'll go out now. Feel like now's the time.
Ready? Let's go.
So we're gonna go out now, and we'll just see what we can do here. Like, I don't know what's wrong with this car right now. I feel like maybe it's more down to the way I'm driving at the moment. So we're not even going to speak this time on the lap to see whether that helps. You know, try and purely focus. Right, P4 I think. Oh no, sorry, P5, so not bad. Okay.
So qualifying is complete and we're
not bad,
an exciting race
but I still think there's a lot more time in there. I feel like we haven't mastered the track yet. Yeah. So good recovery, I guess. P5. But as I say, just something missing, you know. Now, obviously, being this is a longer race, do we go one stop or two stop? That's the question today, ladies and gents. A one stop would be, I guess, less stops and maybe possibly slightly quicker. Whereas a two stop could be, you know, obviously slower, but also could also be quicker in terms of a sense if you can make up the time. You know, it'd certainly be quicker that way. I think we're going to go try and do a one stop, because if we can do one less stop, that certainly does give us a bit of air advantage, especially when it comes to controlling the pace. We can then sort of dictate that pace and at the level we want. So I think that will be the way to go. I'll have to wait and see. Bit overcast anyway. So the game's advising a two-stop strategy. We're going to see whether a one-stop could be workable. Because obviously, so it's saying whatever we do should go only... So, saying if we want to do a one-stop strategy, it's saying go to lap 14 and then put on a set of the mediums. Okay, so that is quite interesting, really. What the game's advising, it's not really letting me go onto a set of softs. Okay, so how long would that take? According to this, it'd be 1 second quicker, so it may be just quicker to go for the two-stop. And I think if we want to try and stretch it, we could go for the one-stop. I think we'll do that. We'll see. So, right. We're going to do a formation lap, ladies and gents, before we get on our way. As I say, we must finish in points, and our teammate cannot, regardless, win the championship. If we don't finish in the points, our teammate must win, and then we would not win the championship today. So really, there's only one way for my teammate to prevent us from winning the championship today, and that's for us to be outside the points and for him to win. So yeah, I'm not saying that's not likely, okay, it certainly is possible, but obviously
Radar is clear.
yeah,
Good for now.
for sure it is not going to be easy for my teammate. In terms of our race to goal, I would have to say a win is possible if we get lucky. I'd also say though I would like to get top 3 though. That has to be the main goal, because considering where we were in quali yesterday, we weren't quite there racing with the race leader. It's Vettel on pole, Bottas second, and Verstappen third, Raikkonen fourth, I am fifth, Ricciardo in sixth. So we're gonna see what goes down in this. I think it's 30 laps or 30 something, 36 or something laps of this Brazilian Grand Prix. So yeah, this is gonna be certainly a different video, especially the next two anyway. So let's see what goes down here. So 36 laps of, I think it's 36 or something like that, of the Brazilian Grand Prix are about to get underway. Yep, 36. So we're preparing now for race start. So the lights now begin to turn on. We've engaged the clutch. 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go again. Not making the greatest start, but certainly not a bad start. We're off the circuit down into turn 1. We've sort of got to take the escape route, and unfortunately we are outside the points here already. So what happened there, I have no idea. It's like someone clipped our rear end tyre, knocked us slightly. So this is already a comeback race now. So not the start we were looking for, and my race engineer just saying that to confirm it in our ears. Really, I don't want to use any flashbacks today, so whatever happens, happens really. But yeah, certainly not the greatest start, but nonetheless, gonna try and make up places. Gonna go slightly aggressive around the outside of Ericsson. Can we do it? Yes, we have. Next up is Leclerc for P8. So it's just about getting back them positions, of course. So we've sort of gained or limited the damage anyway already on this first lap. So not too disappointed with that as we go on the charge here. As I say, we may try the one stop. Getting back into the top 6 should be fairly easy. Alright, down the inside of Leclerc here. Commit ourselves. He's just hit us there. Leclerc did.
Okay, good work. Great pass.
All about good exit off there. Not quite getting the exit we want, but look how much speed we got there. Certainly up into, what is that, P7 now, so back really where we started, more or less. As I say, it was just a slight incident. I think it was one of the McLarens that hit us off the start.
Within 1 second of the car ahead in the DRS zone.
This should be an easy DRS assisted pass. Up back into 6th. So up in now side the top 6 again. And we're now trying to catch up to top 5 here effectively. Top 6 haven't really pulled away, in all fairness, which is different. Same difficulty level, by the way, so not racing on any lower difficulty. So maybe race pace is slightly better right now as we come across the line doing a new fastest lap. So lap 4 in P6 right now, and so bit of a difficult start, but we've more or less caught the race leaders here, all 6 of them, and we're now joining the party. And the Ferrari of Vettel ain't pulling away, nor is my teammate, so this has sort of brought everyone back into contention here, especially me. So it's now just about pacing, I guess, keeping up with race leaders. Also trying to overtake slightly when we get close or get the opportunity. Two Red Bulls touch, slowing us down slightly, just allowing the teams to get away. I think we're going to go for a move on Verstappen here. Had to be a bit leery there, I guess, if that's the right word, on Verstappen, because I just felt like they closed the door, the AI 10-2. I don't really want that to happen. Again, pick the maneuver. What an idiot. Closed the door. I'm going to use a flashback there, because you can really see what I mean. Like, right, we were down. It was obvious what we were going to do. He should be already looking in that left mirror. Like, it's obvious what we were going to do, or what we were trying to do, and he closes the door when clearly he didn't have the pace.
Try to stay with him, he might make a mistake.
What does he expect us to be? Vanish? Into thin air? Like... The AI in this game, I hate when they do that, because it really can sabotage your race. So sorry for using a flashback. I don't feel that was my mistake there, so I will use flashbacks only in occasions like that, where the mistake could have been prevented by the AI, not me. But right now, our pace is absolutely excellent, especially when you compare it to the likes of Vettel, Raikkonen and Bottas. Well, I know Bottas probably getting held up here a lot, but what is going on with the AI? And just so you know that I am racing on the same difficulty as always, I'll just show you actually what I mean, because obviously I don't want you to think, oh, I've lowered the AI difficulty, because I certainly haven't. Should be able to see it there, very faint, but yeah, Legend AI 97%, so same AI difficulty, and we're going right now slow for whatever reason during the course of this race so far. So far, not a good race for the AI, for whatever reason. They're just not lapping the same. We're right now in a different ballpark to what the AI are in. Teammate...
We're having trouble receiving. Valtteri's currently in P2. We're trailing our teammate by 1.9 seconds. They're on old super softs. The time last lap was a 1 minute 11.2.
So 11.2, what are we lapping
Check your
roughly?
MFD for a new strategy option. Copy.
So that's saying go the 1 stop now. Well, I fancy a 2 stop actually. Only because I just feel like we've got the pace here to do the 2 stop. Overall. Maybe unless they're doing a 1 stop, possibly. And my teammate has just been overtaken as the AI seemingly now to pick up their pace. As Vettel is, what, a few seconds now up the road. Alright, let's see what we can do. Because again, I'm not happy with my pace now. They've started to certainly raise their pace. So I'm gonna try and raise mine to try and break into the top 3 or get closer. Oh dear. Right, I think we should have DRS. No, not quite. So it must be just outside DRS, and yep, we are. Right, do we go 1 stop, do we go 2 stop here? 1 stop could be the safer way to go. But then we gotta do a long second stint. 2 stop would be more preferable in terms of racing wise.
Is 3.3 seconds.
Ah, come on. Can't be making mistakes like that, Julian. Then mistakes are costly. So 10 laps in, and
Gap to car in
we're
front
in
is
P4.
1.5 seconds.
And in all theory, I think we could have been leading this race by now, due to our pace. Oh, come on! Right, that's annoying as fuck. Honestly. That is annoying. I hate that.
We're going to box this lap. Push hard on the in lap.
We've just basically... No, that's annoying. Our front right is getting hot. Maybe that's why we're losing pace now. As the two Ferraris and Mercedes, or Bottas and Raikkonen go toe to toe, wheel to wheel. This is just allowing me to sort of gain some time.
Box this lap, please.
Alright, no one's really following us in.
Complete, go now.
So, obviously, lap 12 was our first stop. Should come out somewhere in P10, maybe around P12.
We'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in our strategy.
And get out in between these two. Should be fairly good. Fairly happy with that, not bad. Alright. With these ones, it's just about really getting past them ASAP. No messing about. Literally no messing about here.
Nice move. Good job. Valtteri is in the pits.
I was worried in case he would chop across me there, and I think we've just jumped our teammate. Yes, we have. So get in there. That's a nice reward. And we're now effectively extending our championship lead and extending our race lead sort of thing over now our teammate. And in addition to that, my teammate's got 2 cars between him and myself. So he should also get Raikkonen, so we're in P2 effectively, I'm going to say.
4.1 seconds.
The question is, do Ferrari go 1 stop, or are they 2 stopping the Ferraris? I guess that's the question. 2 stopping. I'm sorry, 1 stopping, so Ferrari have just done their final stops, so now it's all about actually really making inroads or extending or building up a lead over the Ferrari. Of Raikkonen. And my teammate ain't even past the 2 Force Indias yet. That must be compromising his race slightly. Sun's come out though, which is pretty nice. So we're on lap 15 now, or going on to lap 15 should I say. Will we get Vettel here? If we can get Vettel, that'd be a really good opportunity. I think we may. It's going to be close between myself and Sebastian Vettel on the exit. Are we going to take the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix? Yes, we are. That's us now in the provisional lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Then here on lap 15, ladies and gentlemen, with around quite a few laps to go, certainly, but nonetheless, to take the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix over Vettel. Well, that's an excellent job, and Vettel is on a different strategy to us, so we now can focus on, instead of getting Vettel, extending our lead over Vettel this time now. And brilliant move up the inside there of Magnussen. Magnussen will get a DRS, just trying to break the slipstream here, so won't be much of a chance for him to come back. Vettel now will have a DRS, so it's just about defending from Sebastian here, who Vettel is on a different strategy to us, sort of like a counter strategy right now.
Our gap to the car in front is 3.0 seconds.
So gonna try and open up as much as a gap as possible, especially in the middle sector, but we've gone wide. That's allowed Vettel a sniff up or inside, not quite allowing Vettel to get in there. So even though Vettel is behind on track, he's certainly he's certainly got fresher tyres, and it's going to be a difficult job to defend Sebastian. So 1.2 is the lead over Vettel. That is the gap. So I'm just going to turn down the fuel mix right now, because we sort of want to save a bit of fuel, so don't spend too much of our money. So Alonso's in the lead of the race now. Looks like Fernando's on a 1 stop. That's almost definite. Same with these two up here. Got to be quite careful of these two though, they are racing. And rightly so allowed to race.
Strategy is available on the MFD.
Checking whether we got some wing damage or not, and we don't, which is good. And we got a nice gap.
Copy that.
So we're running to lap 22.
The gap to the car behind is 2.3
And the
seconds.
gap to Vettel is 2.3. So if we can open up a 10-second gap in this stint, I'll be actually pretty happy with that. I know that sounds a lot. I think it is possible. Or somewhere in that region. want a hefty lead before we come in. Right now, gap's 2.8, so I went up about 0.8 on this lap so far. Give out to about 3 seconds. That'll be nice. So, just leading the race now, quite nicely. 2.7 is the gap. 7 seconds over my teammate, which is fairly decent amount of time on a teammate right now, especially at this phase in the race. We're starting to come towards the end of the stint here. So 3.4 is the gap. So the gap is slowly going up, but certainly not as what I want just yet.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs. The gap behind us is 3.5 seconds.
So it's about a quarter of what I want, I would say. The ideal gap is around 10 seconds. Got 2 laps to get that 10-second gap. Don't think we'll get it, so I think the ideal gap has to be now 6 or 7 seconds. Right now, gap's 3.8. Driver behind.
Left behind. Okay, the gap behind is 3.8 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 5 laps old. The time last lap was a...
So 4 seconds now the gap.
9.
So 6 seconds has to be the new target. And then that'd be not an ideal gap. The ideal gap was 10 seconds. Well, that would have been the gap that I would have loved to have, but now with tyre wear starting to kick in, so we've got aim to now get that to about 6. That'll be now the new ideal gap before our pit stop. So 4.5 roughly. So we're going to get DRS here on Sergei Sorokin. Going to nip into the slipstream, go down the inside here. Just sort of take a racing line.
4.6 seconds.
So our teammate is in the pits. So he'll get the undercut strategy on us this time, as we'll come in this time now. As we getting into this later stage of the race. 4.4 seconds is the gap. So we've got a lot of work to do in this final stint if we want to win the race. But considering that we've probably gained a bit of time, I reckon it is doable. We'll certainly probably get a very easy move on Raikkonen, and then from there we've probably got about 10 seconds to make up. 4.9, so 5 seconds is the gap now. So not ideal, but not bad. Oh, we've done that twice now.
Let me know you're okay.
No, we'll just use a flashback anyway. That's twice I've done that this video, where we've crashed into the pit lane. Wasn't that 50 miles? Oh, I hate pit lanes anyway. That was way too fast, I can tell. Oh, there, that's better. So Vettel's just gone through. And goes our final set of tyres. Out we go. 2.3 seconds there is that pit stop. So there goes Kimi Raikkonen. So how far behind are we going to be? 4 or 5 seconds?
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
And we're going to have to probably overtake a Red Bull for good measure. So Verstappen in front, Raikkonen about 4 or 5 seconds up the road. Then Vettel a further 10 or 12 seconds. So can we do it now? What's left? How many laps? Let's do the maths. Well,
the energy store is getting warm, reducing our overall capacity. The more charge you hold, the faster that capacity will drop.
these tyres are quite slippy. So if I'm correct, we need to roughly, on average, overtake a car a lap, which is more or less doable. Sort of thing. So we need about a second a lap. Time to go. Full race update.
Great maneuver. You made it look easy. Position. You're in fourth position. Van Dorn is ahead of you. The gap to the car ahead is 2.
Oh, Van Dorn's ahead.
3 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Verstappen is behind you. They're on old mediums.
Never even knew Van Dorn was racing.
13.5 seconds.
No, that's a stupid thing to say, but
Pit stops.
you know what I mean.
Laps to go.
Right. Oh, that was the worst mistake I've made all day, probably, actually. Out of all the mistakes, but yeah. I should know to keep to the right here, because it's my favourite corner on the track, probably. Because I like how it sort of sweeps up then downhill sort of thing. Yeah. By the way, I'm not using a game wheel, I'm using a controller, so steering can be harder when you're using the controller.
Great work. That's a new fastest lap for the race.
That wasn't even that quick. Oh, come on, Van Dorn, that is stupid. Should be going through there. I wasn't even overtaking anyway, like through there, and he just blaming brake checked me. What an idiot. That's what I was gonna do through there, and he decides to brake check me. Alright, next up, Kimi. Probably one of my favourite drivers on the grid, actually. Always has been Kimi. Good old man. By the way, we are on the way to winning the championship. Only need 1 point for this second championship in a row. So 1 point ain't much. So we're about to lap for Williams that we lapped a number of laps ago. And we are gaining on Vettel. 10 laps to go. Well, actually 11.
Seconds.
Sorry about the lack of commentary, just really focusing now on getting Raikkonen. Oh, I want to get Raikkonen end of this lap. This is a must make move. For the lead of the race, really. I know that'd only be second, but if we can get that done now, this lap, roughly, that would really help. Raikkonen has picked up his pace, I feel, slightly. Just attacking a bit more. Or we're driving badly, one of two. I'm going to go with Raikkonen picked up his pace, just a tad.
Our gap to first place is 8.4 seconds.
Right, this is a must-make move now on this lap. If we don't get the move done, we've got no chance of catching Vettel. That's us into second. Bit dirty, but nonetheless,
Good job. Nice overtake.
you got to commit yourself. I want to win this Grand Prix. And we're going to do fastest lap on this lap for good measure. There you go, that was a decent lap.
Behind is 13.8 seconds.
Whoa, that was a bit iffy there. With, I think, 6 laps to go. Right, so we need to more or less make a second lap inroads for the next 2 or 3 laps, I would say. Then anything after that is just extras. So 6.7 is the gap. So, as I say, just need to make about second a lap Primrose. That would be really what's required. And then we should win this race. So if we can get it down to 5 seconds on this lap. That was a horrible turn there. Slowed down way too much. Just trying to also look after my tyres slightly, and that sounds a bit odd to look after tyres like this phase in race, but I want to have enough life in them for the last lap of Grand Prix, more or less.
Is 2.0 seconds.
Driver in front.
Vettel is ahead of you. Gap to car in front is 6.0 seconds. You're gaining by a full second per lap. Good job. They're on all mediums. Heat time last lap was a 1 minute 9.5.
Now time to just up pace slightly.
There's 4 laps of fuel remaining.
5 seconds the gap. 5 laps to go. Car just snapped there on me. As soon as I stepped on the gas. Literally, I've been doing that the same race, all race long. Car just snapped. We're in just let's go. All race long, been doing the same technique, I'm pretty sure. Right, we'll try that again from here. So we don't gain or lose any time. By the way, any comments, please leave them down in the comment section below. Very much appreciated, that would be. Give this video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed so far the stream, I guess. And yeah, hopefully we can catch Vettel in the nick of time. Feel like Vettel's probably got me covered. We haven't caught him a lot recently. Feel like the tyres are starting to go away.
3.5 seconds.
But overall, I think this has been a fairly decent race, surprisingly, in terms of the pace-wise, because we sort of started, well, qualifying was dreadful. Overall, like, can't say much about quali. Then, obviously, the race was really weird. Like, we had a bad start. We have had the one or two incidences, I'm not gonna lie, but the pace has been very, very good. Like, for whatever reason, like, especially through the middle sector, we're gaining, like, more or less through middle and first sector a heap load of time. That was just gained about half a second on me now, so probably got DRS on the Toro, so gained now another 10th there, so certainly got something in his back pocket that he's unleashing on this lap now. Just gonna try and do something. Gonna try everything to stop him. But I think this race win is going to Vettel. He's taken pole, topped practice 1. Don't know whether he topped the other 2, but yeah. So we enter the final lap, but I say it's been a good recovery. Around first few laps, not one flashback, and in fact I didn't use my first flashback probably till lap 10. In all fairness, which is pretty good overall for me. Probably only used about 4 flashbacks in the race overall, or 5, something like that. Like, yeah, hands are aching a little bit. Sort of just gonna back off now. No point. All it. No, we've made a few mistakes probably today, undoubtedly. That's probably cost us a second here or there, and certainly a few tenths. Like, I'm not going to say it's been the best race I've ever done, but it's enough to win us the Drivers' Championship. More importantly, and we sort of now do a final parade lap in a way around the final few corners. Is that Glock going slowly? No, it isn't. Oh dear. Doing a bit of rallycross also to finish off the season. So there we go then. We are the Season 5 World Champion. That is it then. That is more or less Season 5 done and dusted. Both constructors and drivers back-to-back championships. And yeah, you know what? I am happy with that. This is why I returned for a Season 5. To sort of, how can you put it? Not necessarily win the championship, but to win the championship in style. And I feel like I've done that this season. I've had a lot more podiums, I've had a lot more consistency in my driving, and over the course of 4 seasons, that, you know, is something that I've achieved, you know, and this 5th season has really just sort of built up to having, not maybe the perfect season, but a lot more of a consistent season, and that's a key word there, consistency, you know, so yeah. Like, it's not the complete end of Season 5, you know. Next race, Abu Dhabi, will be the complete end of a journey that started in December and has now more or less come to an end in mid-May. So, yeah. I won't be releasing a video tomorrow. It'll probably come out on Thursday or Wednesday. So there we go. As we win the championship by 59 points then. So outscoring our teammate by 10 points today. And yeah. Another constructors also for the Silver Arrows.
instalment of this Formula
And
1
yeah,
season.
not bad overall. We did get fastest lap there by almost a second over the rest of the field. So not bad actually. Indeed, for that. Getting fastest lap. Nothing really in cheer about. No points in 2018 for fastest lap. And yeah, that is then that race done and dusted. And what a long race that was actually. I haven't done a 50% race distance in a long time actually. Usually only do 25% race distance. Quite fun though actually. Different I guess. But yeah, very good race actually overall. You know. I'm going to say it was nimble and light. That's the way I would have to describe the car.
You must be getting used to it up there.
Today. It was nimble and light. It's probably getting predictable.
You're
now,
beating all
certainly.
expectations. Would you say we all underestimated you?
Probably go... do that then.
That was an epic battle today. How do you think this will play out?
Close battle? Not really. I wouldn't say it was a great battle between Vettel and I'd say probably the best battle I've had was actually overtaking them cars from 11th all the way back up into the top 6. That was probably the best overtaking I've done actually. Some of the overtakes were like a lot of the overtakes were actually probably, how can you put it or describe it, dirty I guess, because in the sense I had to sort of barge my way through. But you know, the AI in this game don't leave enough room. Like, you've got to leave the room. Like, I know people complain about the AI in other games have been too friendly, and I agree, but, you know, when the AI are also too aggressive, it can also lead to bad racing as well, and that's also annoying. So, there we go. The 2 drivers' trophies have are now done, more or less. So, overall then, just... there are the results. As you can see, I'm the top name, George Russell, because I like George Russell. He is my new favourite British driver, or my first favourite British driver, actually, should I say, because I haven't really had many, how can you put it, I don't like Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton's a bit of a, I don't know, I just don't like him. I'm not going to say he's a dick, because that's the first word that would spring to mind when I think of him, but I just don't like his character. He's a bit... he's not professional, I don't find. But then again, I've never worked with him. Maybe in real life he's probably the nicest guy you could imagine. I don't know, in all honesty. I just don't like his character. I prefer Vettel. I don't know why. I think he's a better driver overall. I think he's more of a star quality. You know, so yeah. Plus my father is from Germany, so maybe that's a reason why I support Vettel as well. But you know what I mean. Like, at the end of the day, I think Hamilton, he's a good driver, Hamilton, but not the greatest. But yeah, Jenson Button, he was okay. I didn't really see anything star quality in him personally, if you know what I mean. He weren't the greatest. I liked Nigel Mansell, but I know I wasn't around when Nigel Mansell was racing, so therefore, even though I like him now, maybe when he was racing I wouldn't have liked him, you know. But George Russell, I certainly think is a good lad, you know. He seems quite chilled, very professional, and he seems quite smart as well, intelligent, and, you know, that's really what a Formula 1 driver should be and is, really, you know, because that's, yeah. So that's why I've done this fantasy George Russell career mode, as you can hopefully tell, and yeah, then that's that really. I've shown you that. As you can see, there's the 2 drivers. So overall, on the way to winning that drivers, we had 6 race wins. Shanghai, La Castellet, I think it, yeah, Castellet or something, or Castellet or something like that. And then Spielberg, which is probably really the only race I think... How many times did we win Spielberg? Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, and Season 5. So 4 seasons in a row then, Spielberg. Austria. Hockenheim, we won. Monza, Italy, Japan, and USA. And yeah, really, that's it, really. We also have had wins let's have a look at circuits where we haven't won. So, Season 1, that was our results from Season 1. Best result that season was 7th in Belgium. Then our first win came at the Austrian Grand Prix, with 2 podiums that season in Canada and USA. Then, that was with Williams, by the way. Then we moved to Mercedes a season later. First win with Mercedes came at China. First podium in Australia. Followed up by another win in Austria, Germany, Belgium. Then we had a win in Russia, Japan, and the USA. So last season we also had actually, I think 6 wins. Did we? 2, 4, 6. Oh wait, 2, 4, yeah, 6, 7, maybe. Yeah, 7 wins actually that season, and we didn't win the championship, unfortunately, which is a shame. Can't remember really what happened in Season 3. Season 4, certainly in my memory, because we won the championship that season with 6 wins only. And really, most of them came in that mid-section part of the season, whereas I guess here they sort of came a bit scattered, maybe. And again, then, here this season. As you can see, results were very consistent in the last 2 seasons. Overall, this season, we've more or less only not finished on the podium on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 occasions. Otherwise, we've had what's that? 15 podiums, more or less, all season long, which ain't bad actually. So yeah. Right. Anyway, we'll jump into the next race weekend. We're not going to do a race, so just going to select our tyres, and then that will be it then for today, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, a big thank you to anyone who watched the video on my race reaction from the Spanish Grand Prix, of course. So far, just give you the actual figure, it's my #1 most viewed video since starting YouTube, which ain't bad actually, if you know what I mean. Really, really ain't bad overall, when you think of it. It so far has had 378 views so far, which ain't bad overall. 5 likes, 4 dislikes, so obviously sort of a bit of a mixture, I presume, in terms of the way people have viewed it, if you know what I mean, so far. So if any of you's viewed it, then thank you for viewing it. If any of you's given it that thumbs up, then that's more than appreciated. And if any of you's obviously given a thumbs down, explain why obviously you've given it a thumbs down, because obviously then hopefully I can improve, you know, on what, you know, I can do in the video, because obviously it's not easy to do a race reaction video, because obviously a lot of the time when you're doing a race reaction video, you're going to say something to piss someone off eventually inside the video, if you know what I mean, because obviously one person commented, and I explained it at the start of the video, I'll just quickly explain it again. You know, like when someone commented saying about me saying about Max Verstappen being gifted, and they told me to F off. And obviously, as you can understand, you know, I had to report the comment, because obviously they've used language, you know, that's inappropriate, you know, because obviously, you know, I did reply to them, to explain what I meant by gifted, and obviously, just in case that person watches this video, as I say, like, what I meant by gifted, obviously, or any of the comments, like, obviously, it's obviously opinion, and what I meant by gifted is Ferrari blew it themselves and handed Max Verstappen a podium, potentially. And obviously, you know, if someone thinks that's not true, then obviously they can dream on, like, because of what I remember in the race, team orders were used by Ferrari, but also at the wrong times, when it was maybe one too many laps too late, if you know what I mean. And yeah, you know, so, you know what I mean, like, you can't please everyone, but nonetheless, thank you anyway for leaving a comment, and that's more than appreciated. Unfortunately, I've had to report the inappropriate comment, because as you are aware, any inappropriate language on my channel, if it's used towards someone, if you know what I mean. So if anyone, let's say, uses... You're allowed to swear on my channel, don't get me wrong. If you want to use a swear word, go ahead, okay? But as long as you don't use it towards someone, like calling someone, telling someone to F off, or using worse language than that, maybe, you know. If you want to say, I was effing lucky with, you know, maybe something happened in the race today, fine, go ahead and say that. But if you want, you know, I'm not encouraging you to swear at all. But what I'm trying to say is, if you want to swear, don't use it towards someone. Use it in general. So, obviously, as you can understand, you know, it then doesn't come across as you're insulting someone. Whereas if you want to insult someone, please, you know, don't use it on this channel. Because, obviously, it's not appreciated. Like, if you want to swear, go ahead. I'm fine against it. The way I see it, if you want to swear in your comment, as long as you're not directing it towards me or anyone else, then that is absolutely fine. Thank you for leaving the comment. But if you're using it towards me or anyone else, then obviously there's a bit of an issue there. But I'm not trying to have a go at you guys, obviously, or any of my community, because obviously, as you can understand, just saying, simple policy. Use it if you want to use it. Any swear words. If you don't, then oh well. But as I was saying, you know, the person put F off to me, and so I had to report that. And yeah, you know, obviously, but I did reply to him, saying thank you for the comment that he left, obviously. Showing my appreciation, of course, as you always, because obviously without him commenting on my video, because every time he does comment, or anyone leaves a thumbs up or a thumbs down, believe it or not, videos get even more views, and it actually probably helps in a way, because actually YouTube don't care whether you leave a thumbs up or a thumbs down. What YouTube are looking for is actually you leaving a thumbs up or a thumbs down, or any comments that may be received on the channel, like obviously then, well, that would be obviously that, really. But as I say, you know, thank you anyway for, and if you're one of them 378 people, thank you for that, and for leaving that, well, for watching, really. So yeah, so next time will be a 50% race once again. It'll be the last race of the season at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. I'll probably release that video on Thursday, because I think that's the next day I've got off, really. So yeah, see you all next time for another race. Have a good few days, and take it easy.